Good morning, good morning, good morning, all my good people out there, all my great trade geniuses. Welcome to Trade Genius Live. I am your host, Trend Genius, and we are in here on a Wednesday. How is everybody feeling? Good morning, good morning. Let me go through here and see. Kick Rocks, good morning. Chrissy, good morning. Happy Wednesday. Mike, good morning. T. Pruitt, good morning. Morbid Drifter, good morning, good morning. How y'all feeling out there, man? Let me know. Stephen Brown, good morning. Good morning. How are y'all feeling? One word me. Let me know. One word me. Let me know how y'all feeling. I would love to know that. It's very important. Myself, I'm feeling pretty good. Slept well. Who we got? Okay. Builder Mason, good morning. Thanks for typing in. Feeling better now that there might be peace in the Middle East and the market can get back to normal. For real, for real. I second that emotion. That is the truth. I definitely second that one. Man, it's been cold over. It's been cold here overnight. Been real cold. That's what's up. Without prejudice, doing well, doing well. That's what's up. That's what's up. What about everybody else? How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? Feeling rested today? Yes, I am as well. I went to bed early, got all my stuff done, went to bed early, and got up, got my exercise in, feeling good. Um, just being off for a little while on the exercise let me know, man, you know how it is when you've been off for a while, you a little weak, but it's good. I'm in there. Hella Bands, good morning. Yes, my sister has arrived. What's up, sweet? How are you? How are you? How are you? How are you? What we got? Is that? I'm trying to pronounce this right. Felion, Fellow One or Felion 83? Fellow 183 or Felion 83? Let me know how to pronounce that. I want to make sure I'm saying that correctly. Mr. Colon, good morning. Good morning. Mike said he's feeling good. That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what I want to hear. Everybody's feeling good, well rested. You know what I mean? Ready to get on these charts and see what we can do today. Straight up. Let me see who else in the building. What we got? What we got? Good morning, Serena. I'm tired. Just got back from the gym. Ha ha ha. Sis went and worked it out. That's what's up. That's what's up. Man, I'm telling you, the workouts, if you can get that workout in before trading, I'm telling you, it totally relaxes you. Totally gets, clears out all the little, the little normal life stresses. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're in life, you got some stresses. It doesn't mean you're stressed out, but there's some stresses that we deal with, right? And I'm telling you that working out does help. I noticed the difference. I've been back this week. Y'all know I've been back this week. And it's only been, 3 days. And I definitely can feel the difference already. So that's pretty cool. QDL, what's going on? Oh man, just another one, bro. Trying to get this Wednesday rocking. Good morning, Soaking Insider. He got the cup of coffee or the tea right there. That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. Jerome in the house. Hey, did you catch that move last night? Nah, it was really almost impossible to catch that move, right? That wick went down and shot straight up. It was almost impossible to really get a reentry on that last night. I mean, you had to literally be right there with your hand on the mouse and then, be able to click in and, you know what I'm saying, and catch it. I mean, me, I'm a limit order, so I know I would have missed it. I mean, I always have my monitor where I can see it. You know what I'm saying? But definitely I saw it, but I was standing away from my desk. Internet went down, but we here. Oh, okay. That's what's up. That's what's up. Actually, let me get my producer on the line. I got to get him on the line. In the event of anything, he keeps me up to date with stuff that's going on. So let's do this and let's do that. Let's see here. Who was that? Who was that? Said that was, I think that was Daniel. Daniel said, where we at? Where we at? Where we at? I think he said first time on the live. Where we at? Where we at? Where we at? Daniel, I think that's Daniel Waldron. Man, welcome, welcome. First day on the live. Welcome, my guy. Thanks for tapping in. You're in the right place. If you're new to trading, you're right where you need to be. This is episode, I think 31 or 30, episode 31. So we got 30 episodes in. We're basically new as well. So we're fresh. You know what I mean? But actually, man, thank you for tapping in with us. You're in the right place. You're in a great community. Also, too, what you need to do is subscribe to the channel. You know what I mean? Let me get that free like. That's all I ask, and I'll take care of the rest. If you go in my descriptions, I have books that'll help you. Some books that you should definitely look into. You know, reading. There's one free book I would recommend to you. It's called the Candlestick Bible. Sis, don't say nothing. Sis, shh, don't say nothing. But yeah, that the Candlestick Bible, that's one book that'll definitely help you. You know what I mean? Understanding candlesticks. So, and then there's 2 other books down in there. But other than that, you can run through my previous live streams and you'll find a lot of valuable information that'll help you definitely, you know, get where, you know, help you, you know, build a foundation and then, set a foundation and start building on that foundation. Whoever did is a bad boy. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see here. Who was that? Facts. How do you like Take Profit? I like Take Profit. Take Profit is cool. I have them. I have 5 accounts with Take Profit. Yeah, Take Profit is dope. I told y'all the ones, remember? TEF, My Funded Futures, Apex, Take Profit, Lucid, Tradeify. Those are the ones that I can definitely say I can vouch for. Grabbed the sell in oil last night. Nice. I got TP1 from that wick. Okay. She said, I'll be quiet. Hello, Stub Prob. A basic question. If you can explain, how can you earn off downward price action with futures with sells? Seems counterintuitive. More understanding of traditional stocks buying a share. Now, the difference is, good morning. Prince Metalia, good morning. Good morning. It's the same thing. You can with futures, you can make money in either direction. You're thinking about, like you said, traditional stocks. Traditional stocks is you're owning a stock, and you're waiting for that stock to mature, right? However many stocks you buy, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. In intraday trading, we're buying a position, and we can make money in either direction. So you're not owning anything. You're just purchasing a position, you know, and that's going to be a contract or a unit, however you want to look at it. So that's the best way I can explain that. But yeah, it's different. Remember, with traditional stocks, you're not really stock trading. You're just buying a, you know, particular amount of stocks from a company, which now you own shares, and you're waiting for that stock to mature. So that's pretty much what that is in that setting. In this setting, we're intraday trading, and in futures trading, or in any intraday trading, it just so happens to be the instrument that we're trading is futures. You're buying a position. You're purchasing a unit, you're purchasing contracts, and you can do that with a sell or a buy. So you can make money in either direction. That'd be the best way I can explain that. So with that stated, everybody feeling good, everybody ready to go. If you're new to the live stream, as I stated earlier, you're in the right place. Go ahead and give me that free like, give me that free subscription, and I'll take care of the rest. So remember, we in here on therapy. We trading, but we're also getting therapy in here. That's what's important, because that's what's gonna take our game to the next level. I've been getting a lot of emails in my DM, letting me know how much that this live stream has been helping everyone with their helping the particular ones that's messaging me with their trade psychology, and it's helping them, maintain accounts, not blow their accounts. They're looking at trading totally different. They're treating trading as a business and all the things that we talk about. So if you're new here, you're in the right place. So with that stated, let's see here. We have 4 minutes before market open. Let's go ahead and jump into hop on later. Okay, no problem. Let's go ahead and jump into, let me change my what's the name because I'm on my other screen. And hold on one sec. Let's just go here for right now. All right, it's locked. Let me unlock it. Where are we at? All right, cool. All right, so let's do this. Let's go here and let's go here. Boom. All right, cool. Let me get over there. I was playing with my, as y'all can see, I added some little logos and icons on here. All right, let's go through this. Let's go through news real quickly. Let me just see something real fast. And this one. All right, cool. So let's do this. Let me jump back over here. Let's do that. And boom. All right, cool. So that's where we want to be. Boom. All right, so news for today. Wednesday, 7:30. Remember, I'm on West Coast time. So all we really have going on today, well, if you trade NG, there's crude oil today. So one thing that I've always remembered is if you're trading NG, you want to be careful when crude oil inventories comes out. I've never traded NG, but our co-founder, he used to trade NG a lot, and he would always state that. So if you're trading NG, just be careful because crude oil is coming out today. We only have one red folder, and that would be FOMC meeting minutes, and that's going to be at 11. Other than that, that's pretty much it for today. Everyone that's new on the stream, if you do not have, good morning, Michael. Free like and subscribe, done. That's what's up. I appreciate that. Put some meat on the brain. Absolutely, absolutely. For everyone that are new, that's new to the live, I recommend this calendar right here. You can go on here. It's forexfactory.com. Set up an account. It's free, and this way you can keep up on news every day. Every day. So just keep that in mind. That's a good tool that you want to have. We always want to check news. We do the same thing every morning. We want to show up and be robots and handle things with repetition and keep everything moving. Let's see here. Do this. There we go. All right, cool. So let's jump on the charts. We got 1 minute before market open. As y'all can see, it's crazy last night. All of this was news manipulated. We gapped up very, very high. Well, not very high, pretty high, pretty nice size gap here when the market opened. And then everyone knows this was all driven by the news last night where Trump was talking about he was going to obliterate Iran if they didn't, I think it was open the Strait of Hormuz or Hormuz, whatever it's called. So there that is. I mean, if you've been on the stream and we've been going through how to find our daily bias, we already know that based on this, daily bias would be bullish, right? So market just opened. Why would it be bullish? Because we already see that there was no lows, not really any. I mean, there's some lows created, but we know that with this strong bullish action right here, we know that God, I went blank for a sec. We know that London took out Asia high, so our bias today would be bullish. We're not married to that bullish. All of our daily levels are way down here. because price shot up so much. Not only that, we got above the 8% line, and now we're trading above the 8% line. So let's see. Let's see if we can get some normalcy within price action today. So with FOMC minutes coming out, I don't really know how market's going to be. It's been trying times, you guys, since January 20th. Y'all know that. Since the war started, it's been trying times. The market has been all over the place. Just in general with, everything going on. So we've been taking less trades because that's the way that it works. Let me jump to the 1 minute. Let's see here. So this is our market open candle. So I don't know. We'll see. There is a lot of buy side liquidity, sell side liquidity. So that we know for a fact. So I may take a little, with that stated, with all this sell side liquidity, I may take a short to the downside if we get a cool setup. Been here since last week, just trying to learn. Absolutely. Is that Quintisa? I hope I said that correctly. Quintisa Willis. That's what's up. Thanks for tapping in. You're in the right place. But yeah, let's see what we get, y'all. Let's see what we get. Let's see what we get. If you're new, make sure you grab them books, y'all. They got one free book down there, that the Candlestick Bible. I'm telling you, that will definitely help you understand candlesticks. You need to understand candlesticks, not necessarily candlestick patterns. I don't trade candlestick patterns, but that book did help me understand candlesticks, and it helped me understand how to read the market. You know what I mean? You can read market sentiment off those candlesticks. So let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. Good morning, Nate Dean. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thanks for tapping in. Let's see what we got. How do you know there's sell side liquidity? 1 sec, I'll get to that. Let me drop this limit order in here. I think I'm going to take a sell. Let's see here. I may have missed the entry. So this is a little strategy that I trade. We have market structure shift. And once market structure shift is formed, then we have a fair value gap. Oh, let me raise this up a little bit. Yep. Market structure shift. Then we wait for a fair value gap to form. I place my limit order for a sell, it'd be right below the gap. If it was a buy, it'd be right at the top of the gap. Wait for price to tap me in. And we got a couple of targets. This is one target, blue line, that I would trim at. If any one of you, for you guys that are new on the stream, you may not understand what these blue lines are. But if you go, I have a video. It's called Finding Your Daily Levels. All right, we're tapped in. My stop loss would be right here at the top of this candle right here. So let me get that going. My buy stop, protect my accounts. All right, so we're tapped in on this trade. I think what I'm gonna do right here at this level, I'm going to trim 3 contracts. Let's do that. Boom, boom, boom. Confirm. I'll trim 3 there, and I'll let it run, and we'll see. We'll see what we get. And then I'll take my last trim. My last TP will be here, and we'll see what we get. So we're in this. We are in this. But yeah, so this strategy that I trade, it's based on, as I say, market structure shift. And once we get market structure shift, that's basically a candle close below a previous swing low or previous swing high. In this case, it was a previous swing low. We wait for a gap to form, fair value gap, and then we place our market. I place a limit order if I'm going sell right below the gap. If I'm going buy, right. If I'm going with a buy, it's right at the top of the gap. We're waiting for price to come and tap into that gap. As it did, it gets us into the trade. and then it carries on in the direction that it's going. I am copy trading. I am in on, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm in on 12 accounts. So we'll see what we get. So, and when we trade with no emotions. Once we get in a trade, that's it. We have no more control. So we don't worry about anything other than that. We get in a trade and we live with the results. Kika Bug. That's all right. You good. She said, hey, I'm late at work. That's what's up. That's what's up. But you here. Appreciate that. How do you know? Grand Risings. Kaz in the building. Going to your question, QDell, we know that there's a lot of sell side liquidity because you got to think. If we've seen this huge move like this, we know what? We know there's a lot of traders that are in buys, right? We know that. So with that stated, that means there's a lot of stop losses down here. Some are trailing, some are holding. So you got to think there's thousands and thousands and thousands of traders that are in buys after last night. We know that already. So with that stated, the liquidity that's down here is all of those stop losses. Liquidity meaning when price gets to these levels, all those stop losses will be hit, right? So that's the liquidity that's being taken. All those stop losses being knocked out. So that's how we know there's a lot of sell side liquidity. And boom. And we'll let it rock and let it do what it do. Flora Aura, good morning. Thanks for tapping in. So this might take a while. Volume's kind of low. But yeah, we'll see. We just let it rock. Like I said, once we get into a trade, we let the trade rock and we live with the results. You know, it'll be profitable or non-profitable. If it's not profitable, what do we call that? We consider that a business expense, right? And there it is. That's how we run it. That's how we rock it. So no emotion. You follow your rules, you follow your steps, and you go. There it is. That's how it works. And you know, I also too recommend taking base hits. Base hits is cool. It's cool to take some base hits. Because the market is real, how would I say? It's been real, it's been real shaky with all the news going on. Happy New Day, G. That's what's up, Alec. Thanks for tapping in. Welcome to the club. Absolutely. Let them know, Soaking Insider. I want to tell you too, man. I want to appreciate all of you that always are helping the other trade geniuses in the community, especially if they're new, welcoming them and helping them when they have questions. I really appreciate you guys for that. Soaking Insider, he's big on that. Chrissy's big on that. Kiara's big on that. Actually, all of you guys are pretty big on that. So I definitely appreciate that. It definitely helps me as well as it helps everyone in the community because they can ask a question, they can get those questions answered. So, but yeah, we looking pretty cool right now. Like I said, my daily levels are way down here. My daily levels are the pink lines. Do I think price is going to get down there? Nah, I don't think so. It could. Some news can drive it down there, but I'm going to be patient and, you know what I'm saying? See what we can get. That's why I'm using my unmitigated levels as my targets. So, see what we get. Anybody else in anything? All right. So we just banked 3 contracts. So we're going to change this to 3 and we're going to let it run. See what we get. Actually, I'm going to move my my stop loss just above break even. And at least I know I have 3 contracts that are banked already. As y'all saw that, I started with 6. I set a TP for 3 contracts at this unmitigated level. Price hit that, so we know we got 3 contracts banked. So we're looking pretty good right now. I think what I'm going to do is, let me look left. You always got to look left, see what's going on left. I think what I'm going to do is, let's see here. I mean, I'm up 573 on 12 or 13 contracts. So that's over 5 bands. Let's see here. Let's see here. See what we get. I was thinking about moving my take profit up right above this VWAP right here and just take my profits there. I think that's just what I'm going to do. Only because, as I stated before, y'all, with us being at war and the market being so shaky, I kind of would rather just take the base hits right now just to keep it safe. I like to protect my accounts. You guys know I'm a very, very disciplined trader. I'm not trying to hold it. I don't think we're in a market for that. But what I can do, this is what I'll do. I'll trim this to 2. And then I'll let 1 run after that. That's what I'll do. We'll see. We'll see what we get. We will see what we get. And as you can see now, basically a free trade. If price comes back and takes me out, I still banked at least $280, worst case scenario, in 13 accounts. If it continues on, then we'll do even better than that. Yep. So where we at? 36 away from me on reversal. I'm in Kaju in. That's what's up. And shorts. Is that Jers 3 Babs? I hope I said that correct. Hey Trent, you didn't ask me what I was. Yes, J Roy, what are you doing? Yeah, everyone. I want to let everyone know we all got to be on top of J Royal. He's been making, and he know I'm not calling him out like that. He knows it's just an accountability check. We got to be on top of J Royal, and he'll tell you he's been goofing off on the charts. That's the best way I can put it. He's been goofing off, and he tells me he's honest. He doesn't lie. He tells me exactly what he does when he does goofy stuff, but that's why he said, hey, Trent, you didn't ask me what I was doing. And I forgot. I told him moving forward, I was going to start asking him like, hey, bro, what are you doing? So I'm asking you, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Because he's been, doing this. It happens, y'all. Like, this ain't a J Royal thing. This is a trading thing. Like, the psychology in it, it's the toughest thing to get over. That's why I started this live stream. This is our trading therapy. You know what I'm saying? And this is to get our psychology intact. Remember, we talked about the payouts are a byproduct. Payouts they're the least thing that we worry about. People would think that the payouts are the most thing. They're not the most thing, the most concern in our trading game. In our trading game, we want to be process driven, not profit driven. We want to always marry the process. That's what's important. The process, nothing else. So we just got to just be, I told him I'm going to be on top of him, ask him like, yo, bro, what you doing? Oh, look, I scalped it down, made my money. Okay, cool. Took my base hit. Dope, Kick Rocks. Kick Rocks knows what's up. First live stream, I'm tapping in. Appreciate you being here. Quick question. When you place a trade, are you placing 2 TPs? If so, how do you do that? Just like this. See this little plus sign right here? Hit that, and then you can choose. Of course, if you're in a sell, then it would be a buy limit. If you're in a buy, then it would be a sell limit. That would be your TPs. Real easy. So yeah, I placed a couple. I placed when I first started off, I was in on 6 units, 6 contracts. I placed a TP right here at this blue line for 3 contracts. So when price hit right there, it took 3 contracts out the trade. So I banked those 3 contracts, right? So I banked 50% of my position. So no matter what happens, at least I know I got 50% of my position banked, right? That I made. So now what I did was I had my stop loss up here at this previous swing high. Of course, that was 6 contracts. When price hit this blue line and took 3 contracts, I changed my stop loss from 6 units to 3 because I got to match what's still in the trade, right? So then what I did was I brought down because you can slide this. I brought down my my stop loss just above break even. So this way, if the trade goes against me, at least out of, my green trade does not turn red. It stays green. So for the other 3 contracts, what I did was I had put another TP right here for 3 contracts, but now I changed that to 2. And then what that is going to do is that is going to, when price gets here, hits this, then I'll be in on 1 contract, 1 unit. And then I'm just going to let that one just run. So we'll see. We'll see. Price could come back and take me out here. If it does, I'll still bank roughly about $300, like 360 in 12 accounts, because I'm copy trading. And if not, then we'll get a little bit more bread, but we'll see. This is the way I like to trade. I like to keep it safe. No stress, no emotions, no FOMOing, no chasing nothing. You know what I mean? And just protecting my capital. So it looks like price is going to come back and take us out. That's cool. Either way, I ain't tripping. I am not tripping. It takes us out. Boom. There it is. Cool. So 361 in 12 accounts. I'm good with that. That's what, almost 4 bands. It is what it is. I'll take it. And there it is. Real simple trade. Real easy. Very, very fluid. And guess what? I'm done for the day. Going here, log off, and I'm done for the day. That's my trade. Got my base hit. I'm good. That's all I needed. My accounts, like I said, my accounts are cool. They're safe. I made some decent bread, and I got my base hit. That's how I like to trade. I'm not here to try to hold it and do all of that. We're not in a market for that. We're at war. Market is too volatile. We got an administration. We got a president who's tweeting and doing all of that. And that's not a political statement. I'm just worried about my money. You know what I mean? And I'm worrying about everything that affects my money. You know what I mean? Everything that affects my bread. And his tweeting affects my bread. So I got to be smart. I got to, trade within the terrain. The terrain is totally different than it was the end of last year or the beginning of last year. You know what I mean? Because we're at war and it's so much information being put out. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm just playing it safe. Just playing it safe. That's the best way that's the best way I can do it. Just playing it safe. Straight up. I'm not trying to do anything else but that. Just play it safe. And there that is. So that was a quick little trade. I made my bread for the day. It's only 6:48. The market's been open, 6:49 now. The market's been open 19 minutes. Where can you go and make $361 in 12 accounts in 19 minutes, sitting on your butt with some clicks? Where can you do that at? Nowhere but trading. So I'm good with that. Let me get in the comments here. Let me plug in my laptop, y'all. 1 sec. All right, cool. Got that in. All right, let's get into the what's that? Jude River. Did you see that? Did you see how I did the TPs? I'm gonna do it down here just to get it away from price. Right here with this plus sign. So you can enter a trade. You can enter. Put in a oh, you know what? I have to log back in. Let me log back in. Actually, I'm gonna log in on my demo account. And that would be this guy. All right, so it's my demo account. So I would place a limit order, right? So let's say my entry is right below this fair value gap. This is not a strategy. I'm just doing this for example purposes. So let's say my entry is here. All right. Actually, right here. All right, let me add some more contracts to this. All right. Let's say I'm in on, oh, come on now. All right, let's say I just set a limit order for five contracts for a sell, right? Now I want to set my TPs. So let's say I'm gonna set one TP here, click the plus sign. If we're in a sell, then that TP would have to be a buy limit. So it's putting me in on 5. I want to change it to 3. All right, boom. Boom. So, okay, so now I'm in the trade, right? This is not a real trade. I'm on my demo account. So now I'm in a trade, right? Now when price gets down here, it's going to take me out. It's gonna bank 3 of my contracts because I got a TP for 3. Now I'll still be in on 2 of those contracts because of course 3 minus 5 is 2. So what I'll do is I'll set another TP. It'll be another buy limit. And I got to change this to 2. And there's my multiple TPs. And then let's say my stop loss would be here. That would be a buy stop because we're in a sell. So let me change this to 5 because you always want your stop loss to match the same amount of contracts you're in on your entry. And there we are. So there that is. Real quick, easy. I like doing it like this. I have more control. I can slide these up or down wherever I want them. I can delete them. I can change the order quantity to whatever I want to. You know, there's many, many different things I can do, and I love doing it this way. For me, it is much more, how would I say, let me move my screen over. It is much more, you can see my stop loss up there. So right there, and my entry and my 2 take profit levels. So there it is. Very easy, very simple. Actually, let me do this. Let me go here. Let me do this. Let me move my guy up a little bit out the way for right now so you can see that. All right, cool. Boom. There it is. So that's pretty much how I like to put my entries, my stop losses, and my TPs. Real simple, very easy. Thank you, Trent. I got my profit for the day. Now it's demo time. Absolutely. Took my base hit. Absolutely. LOL. I scalped. Okay, cool. Cool. It's Britt from the What's up, Britt? You know what? I just checked your face. I just saw the face. What's up, Britt? Thanks for tapping in. I appreciate that. Yeah. Yes, you're the voice of reason when I trade. You and Alan. I heard that. Oh, solid. Made 96 on my first trade. Dope, 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 dope. 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 Good job, Daniel. Good job. I like Trump, but he could really shut up for a while. Yeah, man, he be messing up our trade. You're welcome. You're welcome, Daniel. That's what's up. I will be rewatching this live for whenever I need to remember how to do that. Real simple. Just get on your demo account and just practice. Once you do it a couple of times, I guarantee you'll be a pro. Seriously, like seriously, it's really that simple. It's just the repetitive nature of just doing it. Real simple. Once you hover your mouse over here, you see that plus sign, and then boom, and then you just click that, and then you just start going. Real easy. What we got? Woohoo! 1 or 2 on my HSS on MES. Got my money back from Silver Dirty Deed this morning. Check the Inner Circle General Discussion to see what I mean. I will. You got a lot of lines on your chart. Do you have a video on your strategy? Yes. If you go on my channel, I talk about these lines, these blue lines and these pink lines. And also talk about these boxes. These are reversal zones. But if you go and check that out, you'll see how to get your NQ daily levels. I only trade NQ, and these levels are all pretty much targets. So the blue lines are, let's start here. The pink lines are my daily levels, these pink lines, right? And the blue lines were pink lines, but it's where price did not touch those pink lines. I turned them into blue. If you go watch that video, it explains exactly what all this is, and it'll make a whole bunch of sense. Real simple. What you say? Got my wins for the day. Buys last night, sells this morning. That's what's up. Is there a minimum micro mini Nasdaq 100 trade? What do you mean? Is there a minimum? Oh, minimum for if you're trading on a live account, if that's what you're speaking of, if you're trading on a live account, you have to have at least $100 in your account to trade one micro. And every $100 for every micro after that. If you want to trade 2 micros, you need to have at least 200, so on and so forth. Everyone on here should only be trading micros. I want to say that. You should only be trading micros. No one should be trading minis. Period. No one should be trading minis. I'm going to say it again. No one should be trading minis. No one. Micro gang only. I became profitable off of micros. Don't get in your head that, oh, micros, they just make a little bit of money. No, they make good money. And they help keep your account safe as well. It helps protect your capital. Minis, it moves too quickly. And in a blink of an eye, you can be down $500 like that. And you have no control. Because with a mini, you don't want to be trading more than one mini. And when you're trading a mini, you can't do this. You can't put multiple TPs. You can't do that with one mini. That's why I like to trade micros. And micros is 1/10 of one mini. So if I'm trading 5 micros, that's half of a mini, half of one mini contract. And that's how I like to trade. That keeps my account safe. And that's what's going to, allow you to live to trade another day. And then also too is better leverage. I'm not over leveraging. With minis, you're over leveraging. So just keep that in mind. All right, let me close my copy trader, and then we'll get into some questions. The strategy I use calls for mini, but it has a preset R&R, which is good. Gotcha. I still would recommend, if your strategy calls for minis, you can still trade micros. Excuse me one sec, y'all. You can still trade micros. Eye itching. Yeah, you can still trade micros, Morbid Drifter. You don't have to trade minis, my guy. You can still, the strategy is stays the same. Euphoria, he trades micros. He just trades like 10, 11 of them, 12 of them. He don't trade minis because he likes to scale in and scale out. So you, like, as I stated, you don't have, I always recommend trading micros. Leave the minis alone. The minis are going to get you in trouble. Seriously. Minis are going to get you in trouble. You're going to be blowing accounts like crazy because it moves just too fast. It moves way, way too fast. Way too fast. So I recommend micros because at the end of the day, what are we doing? We're trying to keep our account safe and make sure that we live to trade another day. I'm telling you, with minis, you'll be down $100. You'll be down $1,000 so quickly. I'm telling you, you'll be like, man, I'm out. Exactly. You can't control. How would I say? Not control. You can't protect your accounts, in my opinion, trading minis. I mean, at some point we'll get there, but we talked about this yesterday. I ain't there yet. I'm a little over 2 years into my trading career. I'm not there. And I know I'm not there. So I'm not going to even try to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to even try to, take on more than what I need to. I've been successful with micros. I'm going to stay with micros. Will I ever move to minis? At some point, but I know I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. Yeah, see? What Britt say? Minis mess with my mental. I'm telling you, because it makes the trade more emotional. And that's what we don't need. We don't need to be trading with emotions. It makes the trades way more emotional. And we don't need that at all. We don't need that. To keep it nice and easy, keep it fluid, micros. I'm telling you, you can eat off micros. Don't be in your head. Just follow what I'm telling you. I paid for a coach. I paid for my mentorship, and it was the best thing that I could have did. It was the best money that I could have spent because honestly, it got my trading game intact. intact. And the psychological part is what I had to work on. I'm telling y'all. So micro gang it is. And I even recommend, if like I said, if you're new to trading, if you don't have at least 3 to 4 years of profitability under your belt, you should not be trading minis at all. And if the strategy calls for minis, just trade micros. Trade micros. Just do the same thing. Just follow the strategy. Just trade micros. Keep your leverage down. Period. Keep everything intact. That's what you want. You want to make sure that what? You live to trade another day. So y'all see this is just a little demo. Anybody else unclear on how to enter a trade or place TPs? There it is right there, real simple. I'm just going to close this out. And I'm going to log out of my demo account. And let's go get some therapy, man. It's time to get some therapy. All right, let's do it. All right, so question of the day today is, let me pull it up. Question of the day today is, let me pull it up. And I didn't change it from yesterday. It's all good. We'll do it right now. Where are we at? Here we are. All right. Talking points. All right. Let me get there. What we got? Juvier's video of the strat I use only uses YM ticker, nothing else. Even says it doesn't work for other tickers. Yeah, absolutely. But you can also still trade micros. You can just trade MYM. So remember, Juvier, Scalp God, Canary, these are seasoned traders. You know what I mean? They can trade higher leverages than we can. They're proven. They done it. They've been there. You know what I'm saying? We're not there yet. So I recommend trade micros. Trust me, trade micros. If you want to live to trade another day, trade micros. I can't stress that more. I cannot stress that more. So let me jump in here and grab this. Cool. All right. Let me jump into these comments. What we got? How to control R&R. I'm struggling with that part. I want a 25K, but not till I learn R&R. Risk reward. Your risk reward. The easiest way to, that's why I stress trading micro. So the easiest way to stay on top of your risk reward is, all you want to make sure of is that when you take a trade, that your reward is twice the amount of your risk. That's the first thing. So I always recommend learn the strategy. Learn the strategy first. Learn the strategy. Back test the strategy going back 3 years. You guys hear me say this all the time. It's the same thing. Nothing changes. Get a strategy. Learn it. Back test it going back 3 years. Demo trade it for 2 to 3 months. The going back 3 years and back testing it, going back 3 years, what that's going to do is that's going to create the repetition that you need. And that repetition is going to help you understand how to execute that trade. If you're back testing a strategy going back 3 years, just think how many trades you're going to be placing, because you're going to be taking one trade a day for 3 years. There's 20 trading days in a month, Monday through Friday. So you're just taking that trade, that same strategy every day. And then what you're doing is you're going to journal that. If you get FX Replay, you subscribe to FX Replay, you won't even have to journal it. It'll do all the journaling for you. Once you do that, then you want to forward test that strategy, which is demo trading, because back testing is trading in the past environment. meaning what actually really truly happened in the past. So that's your historical data. Demo trading will be trading on a lot, like trading now in a live market, but on your demo account, and that'll be your forward testing. What that's going to do is that's going to show you how this strategy works, how well it works. Not only that, all of the repetition of entering the trade and all those 3 years going back of back testing is going to give you the repetition that you need to be very proficient at entering that trade and exiting that trade and understanding how that strategy works. Once you do that, you have the analytics you need. Not only that, you will also understand your risk and reward for that trade. But that's the only way that you can do that. That's the only way that you can do that. You have to do it that way. If you don't do it that way, then what's going to happen is you're going to be taking a strategy, not understanding how to implement it, as well as you haven't become proficient in understanding how the strategy works. And then what's going to end up happening is you're going to end up not going to like the strategy, and then you're going to strategy hop. Then you're going to go to another strategy. Don't do that to yourself. Build a solid foundation. That foundation should be built on testing. That's how you build your foundation, with that strategy. Yeah, if you want to rush and think you need to get to the money immediately, guess what? That's not going to help you get to the money any quickly because you're not back testing. Just being honest. Like, that's how it works. Like, you have to put in the work. And the work is back testing, demo trading, making sure that, on FX Replay, that's the one I recommend. I don't recommend doing your doing your back testing on TradingView, because TradingView does not give you all the analytics that FX Replay will. And also too, FX Replay is a good tool. Think about it. It's just like when we're in school, right? When we're in college, people pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for their college degree. But all they're teaching you is how to get a job. In trading, it's a financial skill. This is showing you how to get some money, like in a big way. So when you think about that, it's worth spending the money on these tools. It's only $35 a month. If you pay for it annually, I'm talking about FX Replay, it's $35 a month for the pro plan. That's what you need. You get that? That's going to help take your trading game to the next level. You can ask anybody in the community that's been backtesting. They'll tell you backtesting helps a lot, more than you could ever think. And you got to understand, just like anything else, you pay for books, you pay for your classes in a traditional college setting. Well, this is an untraditional setting, but you still have to pay for your education. Whether that's through mentorships, whether that's through buying books, meaning like books to read, like I have some books down in my description, all of that stuff. All of that stuff. It's important to invest into your skill, just like any other skill. So just keep that in mind. Like, you gotta invest into yourself, and don't think that you're gonna just be taking call outs from coaches and then you're gonna make money like that. That's not gonna work either. I can tell you that. And all of that does is make you a slave to the call out. So let's say the coach is not there. Let's say the coach ain't giving any call outs. You can't make no money. So be smart. Invest into yourself. You'll get all the money back if you invest into yourself. Trust me. I know. I've been there. Everyone that knows my story know I went almost 30 grand in the hole. But that was okay. I already understood the process. You have to lose money before you make money in trading. You can ask any one of our coaches. You can ask Juvier. You can ask Scalp. You can ask Canary. You can ask Euphoria. You can ask Lazy Swarmer. Any one of them. They'll tell you. Yep, you're going to lose money before you make money. And you got to spend money on your mentorships, on your books, on these platforms. That's the way that it works. You will get it back if you put in the work. So let me jump into some comments. Let's see here. Soaking Insider. So they lost. Very curious to see this reversal zone. I have marked since MES bullish for a while. Boss Beauty Official, welcome. I just started and new to trade my bracket. Nice. Welcome to the family. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Any discounts on FX Replay Pro? No, there are no discounts, and there are no affiliates either. Thanks for asking though, Serena. I appreciate that. Yep. Can you explain the micro versus mini? Where do I find this at? Oh, right here, my guy. Real easy. Oh, let me jump to that screen, Daniel. Let me screen share that. So look, you see up here it says MNQ. That means that's micro NQ. So you see right here I have NQ and I have MNQ. So MNQ is basically, oh, you're welcome. You're welcome, Boss Beauty Official. No problem. Haven't traded contracts yet, learning trading. Absolutely. So Daniel, so basically micro is 1/10 of a mini. And let me just jump back into my demo account so I can break this down, because it's very, very important. We have some new folks on the live. Y'all see these are all my different accounts. It's my demo account. And boom. All right. So we're in my demo account. So let me break this down to you. So let's hit where are we? Let's go trade. So you see this right here? See how that says 50 cents? So the reason why I like to trade micros, because you can manage your risk very, very well. One micro contract is 50 cents a tick. Real simple. So I usually trade 5. That means every tick is $2.50. Remember, there's 4 ticks in 1 point. 0.25, 0.50, 0.75, 1. Those are 4 ticks in 1 point. So every point has 4 ticks. So that means every point is worth $10 for me, because 250, 250, 250, 250. That's 4 250s, meaning 4 ticks. So if you're in a trade, you can actually even leverage that down even more. Let's say you want to just go 2 micros. Now that means every tick is worth $1. Right here, it tells you. See, it says order info, tick value, $1. So that means now 1 point is worth $4. You can manage that. It's very manageable. A trade goes against you, you lose $100, no harm, no foul. Remember, non-profitable trades are what? Business expenses. Remember that. You're supposed to be treating trading as your business. This is your business. This ain't no gambling. This ain't no play around. This is your business. Treat it as such. You show up, you think about anyone that has a business. They're not gambling with their business, right? They're paying for marketing, they're paying for products, bags, whatever it is that they're doing. If they're selling a service, they got to have some type of tools for that service, whether it's digital tools or true tools, manual tools that they use for an application, for whatever it is that they're doing. But when you have a business, you have to spend money and you have business expenses. So in trading is our business. Our business expenses are what? The non-profitable trades, that FX Replay subscription that you got, paying for TradingView, all the different subscriptions that you may need. Those are your business expenses. So when a trade goes against you, it's not a loss. It's a business expense. It's not wins and losses. You may hear me say wins or loss for the sake of conversation, but from a business perspective, these are business expenses. That trade was either profitable or not profitable. That's the mindset. Not I won the trade, I lost the trade. No. I was profitable in that trade, or I was not profitable in the trade. Now I know sometimes we throw the word, like I said, we throw the words win and loss around for all the new folks on the stream. But once again, trading is your business. You show up with professionalism, with business acumen, and that's how you trade. You take this very, very serious. You're not just gambling. This ain't gambling. If you're not treating trading as your business, then you are gambling. Hate to say it, but it's facts. This is my business, and I take this very seriously. This how you feed yourself, right? Or at least it's how you're trying to feed yourself. I mean, if you're in trading, I would only think you're here because what? You want to get out of the matrix, you want to get rid of your job, and you want to be your own boss. That's what trading will afford you. That's what it afforded me. I haven't had an employer in over 2 years. And I will never ever have an employer again. I'm done with that world. I'm done. Everyone knows this is for all the new folks. I have a master's degree. I ain't no slouch. I went to school. I paid over $100,000 for that master's degree. I had a good job, but I'm gonna be honest with you. In my opinion, that was a failed investment. Because $100,000 into trading, I would have already been a millionaire status. I know that, but that's okay. You know, you live and learn, right? But I'm here now. So with that stated, trading is your business. Treat it as such. Like today, the business brought in money today. I think a few days ago, I think last week, I had a trade go against me. No big deal. I paid some bills that day. Anyone here will tell you that. Treat trading as a business, nothing less. That will pay you so much more dividends in the end than you could even imagine. It's a mindset. Anyone can go in here and click. I can show you how to get in a trade right now in 1 minute, and you can get in a trade. But that's not going to make you a consistent, profitable trader. You can trade at night. You can trade the evening session. Futures market closes for 1 hour from 5 p.m. Eastern. It closes, and then it opens back up again at 6 p.m. Eastern. That would be overnight session. That would be Australia. That's a good question. Soaking Insider, I'm not sure. Google it real quick because I would like to know too. That's a good question. Great question, actually. But yeah, Quintisa, you can definitely you can trade the overnight session. Actually, I was already telling the community, some people in the community know, I'm thinking about live streaming like a quick 30, 45 minutes in the evening and trading the Asia session. So when the market opens, it opens up with Australia, then it overlaps into Asia, then that overlaps into London. So, and then after London, then New York Open comes in and all the other sessions close. New York closes at 5, as I stated, Eastern time, 5 p.m. Eastern time. And then market opens back up at 6 p.m. again, and it opens right back up to Australia session. It does the same thing all over again. Australia, Asia, London, New York. Market closes, then the same thing all over again. So yes, you can trade the evening session. But I'm definitely thinking about doing that. If I do that, it'll be within the next week or two. And I really truly believe that I'm going to do it. I just wanted to make sure I have in my personal life, I got some things moved out the way. I just need to look into my schedule and understand how I need to do it. Also, I want to make sure that if I am traveling, that I can factor that into as well. I know, right? Oh, you know what? I think if you put Shy, it'll be within a week or two. That's what I'm thinking, in about a week or two. And when I do, I'll start on Sunday because our trading week starts Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern. That's when the trading week starts. Trading week ends 5 o'clock Eastern on Friday, and that's our weekend. So our weekend truly starts after 5 p.m. on Friday. The market is closed. Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern, the market closes, and it doesn't reopen again until Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern. And it does the same thing every week, unless we have a holiday in there. Yeah, we're going to get into that, Kick. We're definitely going to get there, Kick Rocks. What I need to do is I just need to, next week, I'll put we're going to talk about this on Friday, as far as the back testing sessions. And then also, too, I want to make sure that everyone has FX replay. So I'm going to have to, we'll talk about it on Friday, Kick Rocks. Then by next week, they give everybody time to get it, and then we'll have a back testing session. You know what I'm saying? We'll do that outside of the market time. But yeah, so So I'll announce that again. I'll announce that on Friday, and we'll talk about that. But just the thing, when we do that Kick Rocks, what I want to make sure is I want to make sure that everyone gets it, right? Everyone gets FX replay, and then everyone goes and practices on it. Because what I don't want to happen, Kick Rocks, I don't want to do the back testing session, and then it becomes a I don't know how to use FX replay, and it's a bunch of questions. You know what I'm saying? And then we don't even get a chance to back test because I'm answering a bunch of questions on how to use the platform and all of that. So I want to make sure that when we do that, that we're clear. Like if you're going to come on and you're going to get FX replay, I'm going to give you a couple of weeks to learn how to use it, because there's a bunch of tutorials on YouTube. There's also on the FX Replay website. They have a bunch of webinars that you can go to where they show you how to use it step by step. So it's simple. So when we do come on a back testing session, everyone knows how to use FX Replay, and then we're just going to start back testing. And we'll back to, I'm going to choose a strategy and we'll back test it. And we'll just go from there. So, but yes, Kick Rocks, absolutely. Shy, you're welcome. No problem. You're welcome. Yeah, good to go. Thanks. So, okay, perfect. When you are starting, yes. All right, cool. So, as y'all can see, market is kind of just, we had a little bearish momentum, and you can see, look at this, huge consolidation area right here. This would be considered consolidation, right? Why is that? Because price is moving sideways. This is consolidation right here. So what does that mean? Usually when we see consolidation, we should have a breakout at some point. When? We don't know, but we should have a breakout at some point. So all this is just price action moving sideways. As you can see, price hasn't really done too much. This was our opening candle, 6:30 for New York session. Let's see here. Did it take out the highs? This would be London highs right here. This candle would be London high. This is our high for when New York opened. It did not take out London highs. It got very close, but now price is just consolidating. So it is what it is. We took our little base hit right in here, and we got out, made some bread, and that was that. All right, cool. Let me jump into these comments. Let me see what we got. That's great. That's my best time of trading since I still have a job. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. 100. Cool. Yep. Yeah, you know what? I want to say this again. I appreciate all of y'all that are helping. All the new members that, all our new trade geniuses that are, that now entered the family. I appreciate y'all for helping them, answering questions, getting there. Once again, that's one thing I love about this community. It was built on love and graciousness. And there, you know what I'm saying? And pretty much that's how we move. So let's get to question of the day. Let me get that fixed up. Because y'all, I'm going to keep it real. I did not take care of my question of the day last night. I was busy doing so much other stuff that I did not take care of it. So we're going to take care of it now. But yeah, any questions on anything while I'm doing this real quick? Anybody got any questions on anything? Something you're unclear of? Because I know we got some new trade geniuses into the family. Any questions y'all have? Any concerns? Anything you need some clarity on? Let me know. Other than that, I am just getting our question of the day fixed up here, because as I stated, I didn't do it yesterday. I did a bunch of other stuff and didn't do that. All right, cool. Boom, done. All right. So let's get there. Question of the day today is, let me bring that down a little bit. is this trade aligned with the bigger picture or just the current candle? So something that you would ask yourself, is this trade aligned with the bigger picture or the current candle? And we're going to screen share it. We're going to use the trade the little short that we just took to get some examples off that. So remember, the 1 minute chart tells stories, but the higher time frame tells the truth. So remember that. The 1 minute time frame tells the stories, but the higher time frames tell the truth. Higher time frames are always going to give you the bigger picture. The 1 minute time frames, it tells a story, but it's a lot more noise. Okay? So let's discuss that. Now, let me say this. If the higher time frame conflicts with the 1 minute time frame, you always want to use the higher time frame. The higher time frame will always supersede the lower time frames, meaning the 1 minute. Higher time frames for you, it could be 4 hour, 1 hour, 30 minute, 15 minute, so just keep that in mind. I had $600, bought a nice $4 laptop, paid $10 for Wi-Fi mobile, $27 for Jude's course, and put $90 in my account. I love to learn, and any help I will embrace. Absolutely, Boss Beauty. Absolutely. That's how it works. We all have to pay for our, we got to pay. Unfortunately, it costs. You know what I'm saying? But I can tell you this. If you put in the work, you know what I'm saying? If you put in the work, I guarantee you, you're going to win. That's the best thing I can say. You put in the work, you're going to win. Literally, you're going to win. It may take you a little bit longer. It may take you, a little bit longer than someone else. It's not about the time that it takes. It's about the effort that you put in. And there's a lot of people on here that can tell you. Oh, so he got the FX replay discount? Okay, cool. That's what's up. I do have a Calendly link. I'll shoot that to you. Daniel, DM me. I have to add my Calendly link to my description. I will get that done today, but Daniel, just DM me and I'll shoot it to you. So just to let you guys know, I was going to really put this information out there yesterday, but Daniel just stated that. And so basically, just to let y'all know, I have curated I curated like 4 different one-on-one sessions for those that want to get some more in-depth one-on-one with me. And I made them super affordable. And I will definitely have that in my description by today. So, for tomorrow, for when we jump on a live stream, but I will have it in my description by today. And basically I curated 4 different sessions that you can jump in with me, and we can get it in, and we can do, you can get a one-on-one with me, and we can, talk about whatever it is you want to talk about based on the one-on-one that you choose. So I have 4 different types. And like I said, I made them super affordable. Unfortunately, like as much as I would love to do it for free, I can't do that for free. You know what I'm saying? Because that is a one-on-one. The live stream is where I give everything. I give you everything. You know what I'm saying? The one-on-ones are just more in depth, and you get to answer more questions, and it's just basically just us. And honestly, you're really truly paying for my time. Just to throw that out there. I pay for a mentorship. I recommend anyone to pay for a mentorship. It's worth it, especially if you need more clarity. Now, there's some of us that don't need a mentorship. You know what I'm saying? They're able to grasp the information, ask a few questions, and run on. But I know there are a lot of people that, you need that. I needed it. Actually, let me say this. I don't even know if I needed it. I just paid for it. I just felt that it was going to help close my learning curve and push me, further ahead. And it did that. And it wasn't cheap. Let me say that. It was not cheap. It was much more expensive than what I'm charging. Period. And it's not really about the money. It's just about my time. You know what I'm saying? Also, too, I guarantee you will walk away. You will walk away with the knowledge that you need, as well as I'm still here. I ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still here. So the mentorship is definitely going to help you, take your game to the next level. The live stream, I'm telling you, anyone that's been live stream, y'all know I don't gatekeep nothing. I give everything up. You ask me a question, I answer it. You know what I'm saying? But to get more in-depth stuff, that's what I would say I would recommend to anyone that wants to go more in depth and you want to just be, mano y mano, and we do it over Zoom, we do it over Discord. We turn our cameras on, you know what I'm saying? We face to face. I'm sharing my screen. I'm showing you everything. So with that stated, I will have that out. For those that, if you're interested in one and you want to jump on that ASAP, you can DM me, but I will have that in my description. I will get that set up in my description tomorrow. I took some time and I just wanted to really curate it right. I wanted it to be good as far as not just the information, but also I wanted the price to be good. At the same time where I wanted to think about my time, but also think about anyone that was, interested in doing that. So I definitely, like I said, I definitely made it super affordable. So with that stated, going back to what we were talking about as far as is this trade aligned with the bigger picture or just the current candle? So I know I kind of jumped off a tangent. Let's jump back into our trading therapy. Let's get our psychology rocking. All right. So is this trade aligned with the bigger picture or just the current candle? Let's talk about that. We're going to use the trade I took today and discuss that. All right. So speaking on me, was my trade aligned? Is this trade aligned with the bigger picture or just the current candle? When I ask that, it's a question that you would ask yourself. Is this trade aligned with the bigger picture or just the current candle? You would be asking yourself this question prior to entering that trade based on whatever strategy you're trading. These are things that you have to do. Remember, we're robots. We want to be repetitive. Everything that we do, we want to do the same thing every day. Nothing different. We want to show up on the charts with the same attitude. We want to enter our trades the same way. We want to ask ourselves the same questions prior to taking a trade. We want to make sure that our risk, our reward, our leveraging, our risk management, everything is intact. Our disciplines are there. We're following our steps, all of that. We're not FOMOing in. We're not chasing losses. We're following our rules, all of those things. So my trade that I take, what the strategy is this. For some reason, when I click on a name, it only gives me the option to report or block. Block them. No, I'm just kidding. Of course not. I'm just messing. So the strategy that I trade, it involves market structure shift and a fair value gap. All right. And my targets are either these blue lines or these pink lines. These pink lines are my daily levels. There'll always be 4 pink lines on my chart. And the blue lines were previous pink lines that price did not touch. And as I stated, I have a video on my I have a video called finding your NQ daily levels. Just watch the video and it'll explain this in its entirety. It'll explain it to a T where you'll understand it. So now my pink lines were way down here. Do I think price was going to get down here? I know that it could, but I'm not looking to hold way down here. You got reversal zones. We got this 8% line. Like, it's a lot. It would take a lot for price to get down here. It would take like some news, it would take some tweeting, a bunch of stuff to happen for price to get down there. So my trade aligned with what? This blue line is a target. That's what the blue and pink lines are. They're targets. So you're already my mentor in my head. LOL, great to hear the one-on-ones. I'm on it. That's what's up. So that's what's up, Kick Rocks. And even Kick Rocks tell you, like, you get on, you hit me in the DM, you ask me a question, I answer it. He'll tell you. He asked me a lot of questions. I answer them. I don't gatekeep. I don't do any of that. I answer all questions. Like, I'm not here to do that. Let me see here. Just showing off now, Daniel. I'm soaking inside. That's funny. All right, so going back to that question, it says, is this trade aligned? So I asked myself, is this trade aligned with the bigger picture or just the current candle? All right, so in my strategy, I got some steps. I got to have market structure shift. Then the second step is a fair value gap has to form. I have to have a target that's a reasonable target in sight. And then I can take the trade. And I also have to make sure that my risk is not doubling my reward, because then I will be upside down in that trade. You don't want to do that. You always want to make sure that you have a 2-to-1. You want to make sure that your trade makes sense. If your stop loss is very, very large, and your target area from your entry to your target is smaller, that area is smaller, that's a trade you want to sit out. That's not even worth it, because your R&R is all messed up. You're upside down in that trade. I don't care how perfect the trade was, how great price action is. If your stop loss, meaning the area between your entry and your stop loss, is greater than the area between your entry and your take profit, you sit out that trade. It's not worth taking it. You wait for the next one. So this was my market structure shift. I had a close below the previous swing low because I was going sales. Now, if it would have been a buy, it would have been a close above the previous swing high. But even though today's bias was bullish based on overnight candle action, I still understood that we had huge bullish momentum, and there's a lot of sell side liquidity. And if you've been watching NQ for as long as I've been watching NQ, this is the only ticker that I trade. NQ loves to go and take liquidity from the overnight session. That's what New York session does. Liquidity is what? All of these stop losses that are down, they're stop losses. Just think about all the traders that got in buys last night. We know with all of this bullish momentum, we know for a fact that there's traders that got in buys last night. That's a guarantee. The candles tell us a story, right? So if they're in buys, what does that mean? Their stop losses down here, right? Some traders are trailing. Some traders left their stop losses down here and they're just holding, right? So what does that mean? It's a ton of liquidity down here. Liquidity meaning those stop losses. When price comes back and hits those stop losses, that's liquidity that is taken, right? Because it's taking those traders out of their positions. It's hitting their stop losses, killing their trade. So it's taking that liquidity. I know that. So even though the bias for overnight based on price action was bullish, I still understood, because I know, as I stated, NQ loves to, in the New York session, NQ loves to take overnight liquidity. And there's a ton of liquidity to the sell side for all those traders that are in buys. So as I stated before, you never ever want to be married to the bias, because anything can change that. News, characteristics, right? The bias is just to give us an idea, right? It's not like the bias is not the gospel, meaning like it's not set in stone. We're never married to the bias. We just use the bias as a gauging point. But as I stated, even though I knew the bias, even though I know by overnight price action that we have bullish bias, I still understood that there's a ton of sell side liquidity, because overnight was totally bullish. And we know because of that, there were a ton of traders in buys, as I stated, meaning there's a lot of stop losses. I'm repeating myself because I'm trying to get this, sunk into our brain. So with that stated, because I'm not married to the bias, I understand NQ characteristics. I was like, okay, if I get a sell set up, I'm going to take it, because I do understand based on NQ characteristics, because this is the only ticker that I've been looking at and that I trade for the past 2 years. So I understand this. Like I said, your tickers, understand them. Like you understand the characteristics of your guy or your girl. You know the kind of, their favorite color, the kind of movies they like, the kind of music they like, what are their favorite restaurants they like to eat. Treat these tickers as the same way. You want to get to know them. You want to understand how they move. That's why I only trade one ticker. I only have one ticker to be concerned about. And I've been watching it for the past 2 years. So based on that, based on the fact that I know, based on its characteristics, that NQ loves to take overnight liquidity, even though the bias was bullish, I still was like, you know what? If a sell sets up, I'm going to take that sell based on everything that I just stated. So my strategy set up. This is only after New York Open. This is not before. So New York Open is at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, 6:30 a.m. Pacific. I'm in LA. So boom, 6:30 candle. This is the open. We had a close below this previous swing high. So already letting me know, okay, cool. I got my market structure shift. Then we had this candle that came down, right? Then we had this blue candle, which would be what? Just think about it. My blue candles are green. My white candles are red. I just got them changed up. This is how I like. This is what I like for my chart. So once this bearish candle closed, it formed this fair value gap you see right here. This red box. Let me open this up so y'all can see it. It formed this fair value gap. So based on my strategy, I placed my limit order right at the bottom of that gap. Right here. And I waited for price to do what? Come back and tap into the gap and then continue on. This is another characteristic of NQ. NQ loves to come back into these gaps. It's a characteristic. It's the way that I was taught. It's the way that my coach and mentor taught me. And it's also from watching and understanding NQ. That's why I trade this particular strategy on NQ. This is what NQ loves to do. I don't know if this works on any other strategy because I don't trade no other tickers. But I can tell you on NQ, this is what NQ loves to do. So I placed my limit order right here. Price came back into the gap because that's what that one again. Once again, that's one of the characteristics. It tapped me in the trade. Now, I already knew before I even got in the trade that this swing high was my stop loss and my target was this blue line right here, this unmitigated level. I already knew that before I even entered the trade. Once again, this is where the back testing and the demo trading comes in, where you can see your strategy set up and you already know where your target and your stop loss is going to be. You're supposed to know that before you enter the trade. Off top, if you can't identify your stop loss or your take profit level before you're entering the trade, I can tell you right now, you don't understand that strategy and you do not need to be entering, and you need to go back and do more studying, period. That's the way that it works. So being that I know the strategy, I already knew what my take profit was going to be, and I already knew what my stop loss was going to be. But I also knew that because we had so much sell side liquidity that I expected price to go beyond this unmitigated level. So for the ones that were on the call and saw me take this trade, you saw I got in on 6 contracts, right? I was on 6 contracts. I set a take profit at this level for 3 contracts because my idea was this. This was my idea. My idea was, okay, I know price has some room to run because there's a lot of sell side liquidity. And when you look left, the market opened overnight open was right where are we at? Tuesday, 3 o'clock. This was the overnight open candle right here. 3 o'clock. So this is where it opened. This was a spike that was from news when Trump started talking about the Iran thing last night, the little ultimatum that he gave them, right? It wicked down and it just took off, right? So I know price has a lot of room to go to the sell side. So I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to, because I know price has some room to run. Will it get all the way down there? Probably not, but I still know that it has some room to go. So at this blue line, I placed a TP of half of my position. So when price got here, it trimmed half of my position, meaning I banked 3 contracts. Now I was still in the trade on 3 contracts. I set a TP for my other 3 contracts at this VWAP. But what I end up doing is I ended up moving my stop loss from this area just below my entry to protect my trade, to make sure my green trade did not go red. I was protecting my capital of what I already, those 3 contracts that I already banked. I was protecting those. So when I moved my stop loss down here, price came back, one of these candles, and hit my stop loss and took me out the trade. It's all good, because guess what? I had 3 contracts banked. I wasn't going to sit there and hold it. I'm only taking base hits right now because I understand the market is very volatile. A tweet, a report, this could be all over the place. So I'm not holding, not while we're at war. I'm not holding. And I'm also playing it safe. I'm taking base hits and I'm moving on. So when price came back to take me out, I was up $361. Cool. Now, where does that play into our question of the day? Is this trade aligned with the bigger picture or the current candle? My trade was aligned with the bigger picture. I gave you the bigger picture. The bigger picture was what? We were bullish all night based on characteristics of NQ. I understand that NQ loves to come and get this sell side liquidity. So with all of that stated, I knew I had some room to go. So as I stated, entry here, I follow my strategy, my rules on my strategy. I trim my position here at this unmitigated level, and it ended up, I moved my stop loss down just above break even, which is just below my entry, which is break even would be your entry. So just below my entry, and it came back to tap me out. No harm, no foul. Now, my trade was aligned with the bigger picture. It wasn't aligned with the current candle. And this is what you have to ask yourself. Before I enter this trade, is this trade I'm taking, does it align with the bigger picture? And the example I gave you of why I took the trade, and also helping you understanding the question of the day, that my trade was aligned with the bigger picture, not the current candle. Because the current candle is not structure. The current candle is just that, a current candle. My trade was based on structure and the bigger picture. That's what I used to enter this trade. Structure was my strategy, market structure shift. Next step, waiting for a fair value gap. Boom, those things lined up. I placed my entry. I placed a limit order there. I waited for price to come back into the gap and tap me in, because I know that's one of NQ's characteristics. Look what it did. It goes back into the gap and then continues on in that direction. I trimmed half of my position right here at this unmitigated level, and I moved my stop loss down just below my entry. So if price, one or two things would have happened. Either price would have took me out and I would have lived with those 3 contracts that I banked, or price wouldn't have taken me out and it would have just kept running. My other TP was at this VWAP, at this yellow line. That's my VWAP. What I did was I had two contracts of a TP. I have a TP here with 2 contracts, so that would have still been 5 contracts I would have had. So when price would have got to VWAP, if it did not take me out, it would have hit my TP. Then I would have been in on 1 contract, and I would have just let that 1 contract just run. That would have been my runner. So that was the structure of my trade. And my trade was aligned with the bigger picture, not with the current candle. So remember, one candle like a candle. Just look at a candle like one candle like lies. It doesn't give you what you need to know. It's not, your trade is not aligned with the bigger picture. And your trade should always be aligned with the bigger picture. That's what that whole question of the day was about. That's what the understanding is. That's what the understanding of that is about. Is to understand that. And you always ask yourself that question. Is my trade aligned with the bigger picture or just the current candle? So just keep that in mind. You always have to ask yourself these questions. It's very, very, very important. If you're not asking yourself these questions, then you're how would I say, you kind of just leaving yourself out there to catch all kind of, how would I say, unnecessary issues that can happen within the market, like there's no structure, it could be a false breakout, a falling knife, all of those different things. And you want to make sure that you're checking off your boxes prior to entering a trade. You don't just enter a trade because a candle is going in a particular direction. That's not how you trade. You trade based on structure and based on strategy. Remember, trading is your business. As you can see how I executed that, right? This is my business. I'm not gambling. I'm really, truly using what the market is giving me, and I took what the market gave me. As you see, I didn't go in there saying I need to make 500. No. I followed my trade. I took profit at my target, trimmed half of my position just to keep it safe because the market is so volatile, and boom, that's how that worked. So that's something that you always want to ask yourself. And remember, the candles lie, structure does not. Just always remember that. Candle lies, structure does not. Getting a little hot now. So hopefully everyone understood that. Let me get into the comments and see. Right, 5 always the exception. Got to run, Trend. Thanks for another good stream. You're welcome, my brother. Soy Sizzle, LO had to go so far for the open candle. Right, had to go so right, absolutely. Crazy. More district, yes, it does. You just turn the candle speed down to 1 or 5 seconds, and it moves like normal in the market. From what I understood, yes, I still need to get it. I need to get it myself. So we'll show like the actual rise and fall of spikes, or it goes into seconds of the candles. Got it. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing anything. Anybody have any questions on that? Anybody have any questions? Please speak up. If you have any questions on it, let me know. I want to make sure that we're straight on that. Yes. No questions. Okay, cool. Let's move on. So, where are we at on time? All right, cool. We good on time. Now, something I wanted to talk about before we get to tip of the day, and that is if you've been paying attention to news, then you understand how volatile the market is when we have a lot of economic news coming out. And I'm not just talking about like red folder and orange folder. I'm talking about things that are going on with our economy, mainly the war. Absolutely. Absolutely, Daniel. Absolutely. You saw how that one report, let me jump to the 5 minutes so I can squish these candles up, and then let me screen share so we can talk about this. It's very important that we understand this. Open this up just a little bit. All right. You see this huge, crazy, wicked out candle right here? That was when Trump was talking. Now, this is not a political statement. This is just talking about how much news drives the market and how volatile the market is right now based on the war. Look at this candle. If you guys were on last night, I was on. Yeah, all my hats, all of them are that, bro. Yeah, I'm dripped up. Actually, you know what? Let's do it like this here. Let's crack it to the side. Soy says, "Are you a nut?" So as you see, this crazy wicked out candle, right? When he was talking, I don't know if you guys were watching the charts last night. It was crazy. I was actually in a trade, in a strategy trade last night. This thing out the blue this candle was white. It came all the way down. Boom. Wicked me out, closed the position, then shot straight up and took off. Now, the point of me talking about this is talking about how volatile the market is when, the president is speaking or things about the wars going on. Like all of this stuff is crazy. It's crazy, 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 crazy. This is the reason why I've been recommending taking base hits. Yes, it did, Serena. Absolutely. Filled the gap and everything, all in one candle. I'm talking about, yeah, that candle knocked everyone out. Period. And then there was really no way to recover to get back in unless you just hit buy. I'm a limit order, not a market order trader, so there was no way for me to even re-enter. I would have re-entered too because the risk here was small. I think it was only like, what was it? It was like $300. No, excuse me, like $600, I think, something like that, $600. But anyway, so that's why I'm bringing this up to say this is the reason why I'm taking base hits. This is the reason why we have less trades. We're taking less trades since January 20th. I have been taking less trades. I usually take anywhere from 3 to 5 trades a week. I've only been taking like 1 to 2 based on the market. And I'm only taking base hits at this point because the market is extremely volatile. Last night, like as I stated, this candle and news just kind of gives you the sentiment on the entire market on what's going on. And it was all based on the war, based on everything he was talking about with Iran. So I'm bringing this up to reiterate the fact that we're in a different time right now, meaning with price action our trading. We have to be very, very careful on how we trade and what we do when we trade. That's why if you notice, I was just taking base hits. I'm not trying to hold like I would normally do. I am taking base hits, period. And I'm going to live with the base hits. When the market starts to stable out, when the market starts to stabilize and the terrain changes, I will change with the terrain, period. As traders, that's something that we have to do. You have to change with the terrain. It is what it is. There's no getting around it. Unfortunately, it's just the way that it works. There's nothing that you can do to change that. So what you have to do is you have to change within it. So just keep that in mind. Maybe 15 minutes hit full. Oh, that's what's up. 15 minute shorts, full TP, so 666. That's dope. I didn't even jump on a 15-minute banger. Let me see. We got boom, boom, boom. Closing drawdown. Came back out. Yep, sure did. Yep, that strategy did hit. But yes, so we have to understand that when the market is in this crazy kind of terrain, that we have to, how would I say, we have to make sure that we're changing within that terrain, period. That's just the way that it works. We have to understand, like I'm not trading, the way I'm trading now is not the way that I normally trade. Let me say that. It's not the way that I normally trade because of what's going on in the market. I'm how would I say, I'm equipped enough to understand that alarm, that means London just closed. I always like to have that alarm up. Yeah, London just closed. It's 11 a.m. Eastern time. So going back to what I was stating, I like to make sure that I'm trading, how would I say, within trading within the terrain of the market is the best way that I can put it. Because if I'm not doing that, then I'm not paying attention to market sentiment. And market sentiment is everything. That lets you know what you need to be doing. And you have to understand that if you're not keeping up on market sentiment, then you're not keeping up on everything that's going on. And I know that with trading, there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of different variables that we have to, be accountable for. And I understand it's a lot, but as you continue to become proficient in your trading game, you will understand all of these things. You will factor in news. That's why it is very, very, very important to show up on the charts and do the same thing every day. Check news, like before the market even opens. If the market opens at 9:30 a.m., you should already be on our charts at least a half an hour before that. At least. If you have your way, I would say an hour. But 30 minutes prior is perfect. Anything more than that is good because you can do some more charting, you can do some more analysis, you can check more things. 30 minutes, that's perfect. Not anything less of that. You get on, you check news. After you check news, you check market sentiment. You do your charting, you get prepared, you know what I'm saying? Make sure your emotions are intact, and you get ready for market open. And that's what you want to do every day. You know what I'm saying? And you also want to keep account on current events that's going on. You know, what's being said on the news with the war. Maybe you don't watch, I don't really watch TV. But with the war stuff going on, I'm definitely looking for all the war news that I can find because what? It's affecting my bread. And that's what I need to, that's why I'm staying up on the news. I didn't want to because I'm not really big on social media like that. Like I don't really subscribe to anything that I don't need, or I don't really like looking, like the things that I'm subscribed to are the things that I use, like for my business. Like I'm not really big on social media. I don't really just scroll through. I don't have time for that. I ain't got time to see what everybody's doing and all of that. I use it for my business. Now, I would say this. I subscribe to True Social. Why? Not because I want to know everything that's going on True Social, but I need to know what this dude is talking about. Because at any moment, he can kill my trade. Literally. If he says anything, he can kill my trade. Like last night. I knew he was going to be on there talking. I had my stop loss ready. I had it set. He killed my trade. It's all good. It is what it is. I ain't mad because it comes with territory, but I'm just saying I understand what's going on. So I would recommend everyone subscribe to True Social. Make sure it's popping up. So anything that's coming through, you keep an account on what's being stated. Period. You have to do that. You have to. If you don't, then you're going to be out the loop on things that are being stated. And you need to know that. You need to know when something was said, what's being said, so you can protect your business and protect your capital. That's what's important. You have to do that. It's very, very, very important. I have my TP set for TP1, so it played out for me, being that it wicked up first, then back down. Yeah, absolutely. Smart. What's the best way to give the market back some money due to a spike? What's the best way to give the market back some money due to a spike? Hey, think about that. I think you know that answer. Go on NG, Ben. Low volume, slow movement. MNG, I would say, hey, Trent, your mic is sounding way better today, by the way. Awesome. Maybe it's because I need to project my voice, or maybe, keep it at a certain distance. But I'm glad that it's sounding better, y'all. Period. But yeah, so just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind. It's very, very important to understand what's going on, current events, especially things that are driving the United States economy. You have to do that. So let's go ahead and jump into tip of the day. And if you're unsure about your trade, your size is too big. Let's talk about that. If you're unsure, your size is too big. So confidence and trade size are connected. Let's talk about that. Size meaning huge stop loss. You don't want to be getting in trades with $1,000, $1,200 stop losses. That's no good. That's no good. What'd you say? What was the question of the day? Oh, my bad, sis. Let me go back to that. Question of the day was, is this trade aligned with the bigger picture or just a current candle? I'll jump back there for you. My sis asked me, so I gotta go back. My bad. That's not what I meant to hit. This one. Is this trade aligned with the bigger picture or just a current candle? And I gave them a breakdown on my trade that I took today, explaining that my trade was aligned with the bigger picture, not just the current candle. And I gave them a full breakdown. Where was you at? Giving some beastly call outs, I'm sure. I'm sure that's where you was at, giving some beastly call outs. It's all good. But yeah, that was the trade. That was the question of the day. Is this trade aligned with the bigger picture or just the current candle? And I use my trade to gauge that example. But of course, that's something that you notice, sis, that we're supposed to be asking ourselves. Absolutely. All right. So let's jump to jump back to tip of the day. I know you were. That's why I said that's why I said you was out there calling some beastly, making some beastly call outs. I already know. But yeah, so we'll jump back to tip of the day. So if you're unsure, your size is too big. Now, let's get into that. Big size creates hesitation, meaning if you have a huge stop loss, that's going to create hesitation, right? Because you're like, man, stop loss is like $1,200. Right? That's some unsurety there. That's some, you're not, that scalper got back in and made 12,000 over many accounts. I thought I was him. I am not. But yeah, so bigger size creates hesitation because you're like, man, this is a huge stop loss. Do I really want to take this? And that's okay. It should create some hesitation because you should care about your accounts, right? You should care about that. Now, smaller size creates clearer thinking, right? Because it's smaller. You're like, okay, this risk is 300. My TP, my TP is twice of that. That means if the trade goes against me, I'll be not profitable $300. If it's profitable, I'll be up 600. That's much more. That's much better sizing, right? So what is that going to do? That's going to create clearer thinking, right? That's going to create more confidence because it's more clear. It's a lot of clarity there. And that's what you always want to make sure of. You want to make sure that when you're taking trades, that's why you got to be really, really fast. And it takes time. But remember, we are professional decision makers. That's what we are. So we want to make sure what? We want to make sure that we're dealing with smaller size because it's going to give us clear thinking, and that confidence is going to come from clarity. That's what we want. That's why I'm so big on these questions of the day and these tips of the day, is to get our psychology together. Remember, the payouts, the profits, that's all byproducts of this. That's the last thing on a totem pole. We are process-driven traders, not profit-driven traders. We're not trading for profit. Excuse me, we're trading for profit, but I mean, when we enter trades, we want to make sure our process is intact. We want to be process-driven, not profit-driven, not going into the market saying, oh, I need to make 500. No, I need to make sure my process is there, my strategy is there, I'm following all my disciplines, I'm following my steps, I'm following my rules. Then I would take that trade. That's process-driven. That's what we want to be, not profit-driven. As long as we're process-driven, the profits will come. Just keep that in mind. And remember, there's an emotional impact on sizing. That's why it's important, as I stated, to make sure your sizing is small. And just like the tip of the day says, if you're unsure, your size is too big. If you're like hesitant about, man, I'm getting this trade, I don't really know, it's because the size is too big. You're already answering the question for yourself. You're answering it. It's too big. Stay out that trade. You don't have to take the trade. If you come to the charts and your setups don't happen, the size is too big, you sit on your hands because things are just not aligning, guess what? Open up your demo, close out that account, open up your demo account, and demo trade. Just demo trade. Scratch the itch like that. So no matter what happens, you're still protecting your capital, right? And you're treating your trading as a business. You're being professional. You're not being reckless. You're not gambling. Like, just keep that in mind. It's very, very important. All of this is just so important to your trading game. And remember, trading is 95% psychological. The other 5% is application. Literally. So, once again, if you're unsure about that trade, your size is too big. Get that under control. What is it going to do? It's going to create clearer thinking. Smaller sizing creates clearer thinking. Confidence comes from clarity. We need confidence. We need to make sure we're entering a trade based on confidence. Like when I showed y'all my trade aligned with structure. I was confident on that. Even if it went against me, we're not going to win every trade. I'm not worrying about the outcome. I'm just worrying about the process because I can't control the outcome. Once we place the trade, there's no more control. All the control is out of our hands. Now we're at the mercy of the market. We're at the mercy of price action. That's why we want to be process-driven and not profit-driven. You follow your rules. You check all your boxes. You take the trade. You live with the results. Trade goes against you. It's a business expense. Don't walk around pissed off all day. No need for that. Remember, there's no emotions when we show up on the charts. No emotions. We stay stoic. We don't get too high on our wins. We don't get too low on our losses. We want to stay even keel. You had a profitable trade. Cool. It's great to be, you may say thank the Lord or whatever it is you do. Hey, that's cool. But we ain't jumping around the house, fist bumping and all of that. We're not doing any of that. Same thing when the trade goes against us. We ain't around here getting mad, slamming on the table, being pissed off, cussing. Like, nah, it's none of that. Show up with professionalism. Display business acumen. The same way you would in your business. If you were dealing with someone in your business and they were doing something crazy, you're not about to lose your mind. You're about to deal with them politically, meaning you're going to make sure that you stay professional, right? Even if you got to kick them out your business, you're still going to be professional about that. So just remember, it's the same thing. Just keep that in mind. It's very, very important that we do that. Remember, we're building on our trading psychology. We want to make sure that our trading psychology stays intact no matter what is going on. And we are process-driven traders, not profit-driven traders. I want to take my time and flip my small account while I learn. Then once I get the proper knowledge, I'll advance a bit. By the way, do you have a link for the TPPL calendar? TPPL. You're talking about from my TPPL account? Tell me exactly what you mean, Boss Beauty. This is really good stuff too. Absolutely, thank you. Yes, that's what we're doing. This is trading therapy. Like I said, we're gonna do some trades. We're gonna do all of that, but it's trading therapy. There's a gap between when you first show up to being a trader to getting on the charts. Like when you're a newbie to getting on the charts and taking your first trade. There's a huge gap right there. And we're filling that gap. That's what I'm here to do, to fill that gap. There's a lot that's going on in between that. And I understand that. I've been there. So, but yes, Boss Beauty, just DM me if you're looking for my Calendly calendar. Just DM me if that's what you're looking for. If not, then tell me exactly what you mean, because I'm not sure. It says, by the way, do you have a link for the TPPL calendar? I'm not sure exactly what you mean, but explain to me or explain that to me, or you can just DM me. It's all good. And then I want to say, for anyone that's new here, please let me get the free likes. Let me get that free subscription. That's all I ask, and I'll take care of the rest. Other than that, do y'all have any questions for me? Oh, I see a lot of people show their wins for the month on a calendar, but not sure how to get it. So basically, that's their prop firm. They have a prop firm, and that prop firm just shows them the wins and the losses. That's what it does. So whatever prop firm account you have, it basically just keeps up on the trades that you took. So that's pretty much what you're seeing. Yeah, that's what you're seeing. So whenever you get a prop firm account, it's already integrated into the account, no matter what prop firm that you get it from. Absolutely. But other than that, anybody have any questions for me? Any questions for Trend? I want to tell y'all too, you know what? I've been thinking about changing my name, like to Trend, like really, like on my ID, everything. I've been really, really considering it. I've been thinking about it for the past few months. I've been really considering doing it. The only thing that's making me apprehensive is that I got a bunch of financial stuff, and that means I have to go change everything, all my credit cards, all my business credit cards, all of that stuff. And it's like, man, that's the only thing that's making me very apprehensive about doing it. But I'm really, really considering doing it. Seriously, like I like the name. I like it better than my real name. Do FX replay always go slow? You can choose how fast you want it to go. There's a time limit that you can choose how fast you want the candles to go. That's for you, Quintessa. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Quintessa. Yeah, there's what's the name? Highly recommend demo trading for a while before trading real money, even a small account and small risk. Absolutely. If you're just getting into trading, you should be finding a strategy, get with a mentor, get a strategy. Backtest that strategy going back 3 years. Like I said, going back 3 years, you got to put some work in. Don't just try to remember, we're not profit-driven traders. We're process-driven traders. We're not worrying about no profits. So, backtest that strategy. You like the name too? I'm telling you, Serena, I'm like, the only thing that is keeping me from doing it is because I have to change so much stuff. Like I have, man, I don't even know. And this ain't no flex or nothing. I got a ton of credit cards and a ton of financial stuff going on. I mean, I have to change all of that. And what makes me apprehensive is because I've heard like I've heard like my cousins, like when they got married, how they had to change all that. Like one of my cousins, she got to the bag 10 years ago. Like she got to the bag literally 10 years ago. Like actually more than 10 years ago, close to 15, she got to the bag, like to the $1 million bag. And I just remember her saying how much like it, you know, all the different, like changing this and changing that. And it was a headache. I mean, of course she got it done, but I'm just thinking about that. It's a bunch of stuff you gotta just change all of that stuff. And it's like, that's the part that's making me apprehensive. But honestly, if it wasn't for that, I'd have been done it a long time ago. But I'm probably going to end up doing it. It's just, I like things to be seamless. I don't like all that extra stuff. So we'll see. But I'm telling you, I'm really, I'm so close. I ain't gonna lie. I want to pull the trigger so bad. That's the only thing that's keeping me. But I think I will eventually do it. Because it's funny. People that'll say, you know, hey, how you doing? What's your name? Excuse me. I end up saying my real name, knowing and forgetting I'll be wanting to say Trend. And I just like it better. So we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, it would be an extremely involved process. Absolutely. It would. And that's the thing. It's like, and I know it can be a headache too, but it's okay. It comes with the territory. I still do believe I'm going to end up doing it. So But yeah, that's the only reason why I'm just saying that's the only reason why I haven't done it at this moment. I've been thinking about this since last year. I'm talking about a few months ago. I've been thinking about this for close to probably over a year. I like trend better. I like trend better. And it's different. You know what I mean? I never met anyone named Trend. Trent, you know, I never met anyone named Trend. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, like I said, I'm so close and really considering doing it. I think I will. When I do it, y'all will know. But I like it. I mean, and this is the thing too, like my parents, God bless, God rest their soul. My parents, they've passed away. You know what I mean? My grandmother has passed away. My grandparents have passed away. So it's like, I ain't got to hear them being like, what you change your name for? This and that, that, and this. Like, I ain't got to hear that. So as far as that's concerned, like I'm good with that. Because those are really the only four people that I really care about when it comes to their word, right? Everybody else will be like cousins, aunties, uncles, whatever. I'm like, man, mind your business. Mind your business. You know what I mean? I'm grown. Mind your business. But my grandmother, like, that's the patriarch. So I would have to, a lot of answering I would have to do. And she's so old school that I don't think she would even understand. Even if I tried to explain it to her, she would accept it, but I don't think she would understand. But as I stated, God rest their souls. Then I hear, so those are conversations I don't have to have. I've thought about that already. It's funny how I factor that into my thought process of, hey, you could really get this done and it'd be cool. But yeah, so we'll see. We'll see. But anybody have anything for me? Any questions? Any concerns? Something y'all want to go over? And just to put this out there, on Friday, we will be going over our back testing session, because I know we talked about that, and I'm gonna put something. We're gonna talk about that on Friday. We're gonna make that an emphasis on Friday and talk about that. And for the ones that's gonna enter, I'm gonna have like a little system of what we're gonna do for everyone that wants to get into, that wants to do the back testing session. It's free. I'm not charging or nothing like that for that. It's free. We all gonna jump on. We're gonna do it together, and we're gonna rock. But there's a couple of things that I want everyone to be, how would I say, be only if you make your middle name Genius. I know, right? You know what's so funny? Soaking Insider, when I was thinking about it, I was like, what if I just change the name fully and be Trend Genius? That means people will be like, Mr. Genius, Mr. Genius. That'll be so funny. That'll be so funny. Oh, you're welcome, Mr. Cologne. That'll be so. You know what? If I did, it wouldn't be my middle name. It would be my full name. If I did it, it'll be Trend Genius, like on my ID, everything. It'll be Mr. Genius. Is Mr. Genius here? Like, I can see that. That'll be hilarious, but it'll be super cool at the same time. I don't know. I'm super untraditional, so I would have no problem doing it. And you know what? You know what, Soaking Insider, I ain't gonna even lie. Don't even be surprised one day if I be like, bam, and show y'all my ID and it says Trend Genius on it. Like, seriously, I might just end up just doing it. I'm not gonna even front, just to be different. I've always been different. I've always done things untraditionally. That's just who I am. That's my personality. And man, you only get one, right? We only get one life, right? We only get one. When this life is over, that's it. Whatever you had, whatever you didn't do, or whatever you did is done. And I'm gonna say this, just wait and see. Just wait and see. I'm gonna surprise the mess out of y'all. But yeah, so y'all got anything for me? Let me know. Let me know if y'all got anything for me. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. Trendsetter, I know, exactly. I've always said that. I remember someone asked me one time someone asked me, what's your name? And I said, Trend. And they said, huh? I said, Trend. I said, like Trendsetter. And they're like, oh, Trend. I was like, yes. Uncle Genius. There you go. Mr. Cologne. Mr. Cologne, the only one calls me an uncle. I accept it, but I do not have uncle vibes, bro. Come on now. I don't have uncle vibes. Look at this face, man. I don't even look like an uncle. I look like a cousin. But that's what's up. Uncle Genius, that's hilarious. Better than a tattoo, you can always change it back. That's true. Yeah, I wouldn't tat it on me. That I wouldn't do. That's a good point. But But once I change it, it's gonna stay there. It's gonna stay. Once I pull that trigger, I'm not going back. So I've been really thinking that once I pull that trigger, I am not going back. And you know what? It would be cool to just have something different anyway. I've been my name for the years I've been my name. I know my son's gonna be like, see, that's the other thing too. I'm thinking about my son because he's a junior, and it's like, man. Oh, he said, tell me how many times I spelled your name wrong. For real, J. Roy. That's funny. A lot, but it's all good. But yeah, that's the other thing I was thinking about too, y'all. Y'all know my son, he comes in the chat. Sometimes he's a junior, right? You know what I mean? Like, I don't wanna, man. We'll figure it out. Whatever. It is what it is. But hey, if y'all don't have nothing for me, man, we gonna get up out of here. We had a cool Wednesday. For those of y'all that made some bread today, I'm glad y'all made some bread. You shut it down. Being one and done, that's one of our rules, right? We one and done. We take what the market gives us and we shut it down. We don't go back into the market and risk giving that money back, period, or risk giving those profits back. So with that said, I appreciate y'all tapping in on this Wednesday. I love y'all. And like I said, appreciate y'all. Always just type trend. Forget even trying to type the G. And y'all see how I spell genius, right? I spelled genius the way, great training episode, Trent. Thank you, Mike. I spelled genius the way, I got that from Kanye, how he spelled genius. You know what I'm saying? I just like the name. It has nothing to do with like him per se. I thought that was pretty catchy how he had spelled genius, right? And it's untraditional once again. That's why I spelled it that way. So, but yeah. But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all being here. All the new trade geniuses that have that tapped in today. Welcome to the family. Appreciate all y'all tapping in. Like I said, we on this ride. We're gonna get to that place. Just keep putting in the work. We're gonna keep fine-tuning our skill, and we will get there. This is a journey. It's you know what I'm saying? Like my shout out to my guy Nipsey Hussle. You know what I'm saying? It's a marathon, not a sprint. So with that said, shout out to the Edge Funder co-founders, Juvier, Scalp God. Without them, we wouldn't be here. My brothers, you know what I'm saying? Other than that, y'all have a great remainder of y'all day. And we will be back in this thing tomorrow. And other than that, man, y'all be good. And I'll be looking forward to seeing y'all first thing tomorrow. And yeah, man, there it is. Y'all be good. Yay.